Hello, everybody. I am coming to you live from my house. I tried to record this earlier from my office, and the sound came out really garbled, and I didn't know it until like 2 hours after the video had finished recording and processing and sent to my inbox. So I'm going to try to be brief on this one, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. But I am home, so please disregard the noise of any screaming children or barking dogs, which tends to happen when I'm here. I want to very quickly just go over your signature assignment, just to kind of like explain what you need to do on it. I'm trying to find my share screen thing. Okay, here it is. I think I found it. All right. What you want to do is go ahead and go over to your over to the modules and skip over units 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is the one that we were doing this past week. And after unit 4, you're going to see the signature assignment module. Now, there is where you're going to find everything that you need for this one assignment. I will be posting this video right here in this box. But what you got to do first is, of course, read the document. I'm going to share with you now the actual assignment and the instructions, and then I'm going to, go back and start from the beginning. So what you want to do here, or what you have to do is, read the transcript of the Declaration of Independence, 1776, answer the questions that are sitting at the bottom of this. And it says, analyze the Declaration of Independence and examine the connection between the Enlightenment ideals of freedom and equality with those stated in the document. Do you believe that these ideals were operative when this document was written? Why or why not? Are they true today? Does the government bear the responsibility of carrying out the ideals that the founders envisioned? And if so, how? And then finally, what can you do today as an individual citizen to fulfill these ideals? So please describe your position and provide specific examples. That's what you have to do. It has to be submitted in an essay format. So you want to make sure that you have your introduction, your body paragraphs, and of course your conclusion with citations. Okay. Now, at the bottom of this assignment, this is where you'll find the rubric that we're going to be using to grade it. Notice how there are no page requirements or word requirements or anything of that sort. How you're going to be graded is going to be based on the content, analysis, organization, writing skills, citation, and the pre-writing questions, which make up 10% of this grade. Now, for each individual category, contents, for example, is worth 30 points. So contents, of course, is what you are submitting as your answers, how well you are answering the questions, making sure that the questions are completely answered and that you're providing supporting details, okay? The way that that is calculated is, if your answers need improvement or inadequate, you're not answering all parts of the question, then you're going to start off with about 15 points. It is satisfactory. You are addressing the questions, but the answers are incomplete. In other words, you're giving me either little to no supporting documentation or supporting facts to support your position. Then that's, it's like, yeah, you're answering it, but you're not really doing much more than that. If it meets expectations, right, you're providing accurate and complete answers, it's here, but there is one more tier above that that is exceptional. And that means that you have provided clear, succinct, accurate and complete answers, making it, understood to me that you have fulfilled that requirement, you get those 30 points. Otherwise, you'll see on the rubrics that it'll go, 25, 20, 15, or anything lower than that. Analysis, how well you are analyzing the information, how much specific examples you're giving me. And more than anything, you have to kind of demonstrate what your thoughts, ideas, and responses, that they have some kind of depth to it. And what I mean by that is that they should not only tell me what your position is, but that you've thought about what that position carries, right? So any consequences or how people may or have been affected by it, anything of that sort, right? You want to make sure that the analysis is not confused or taken away from the answers, because otherwise you're going to be at a 12. 15 means it's satisfactory. Yes, you're answering the question, but it's only done so in a superficial way. So you're not really going beneath, right? Like you're giving me, yes, this is what it is, and this is what it means, but you're not really going any further than that. In other words, it's really basic and superficial. The next sort of level up would be if it meets expectations, digs a little bit deeper than the surface, then you're at 17 points. But if it's exceptional, coherently developed answers, if they are easy to follow and demonstrate deep thought and penetrating analysis, and that's an easy 20. Organization is also a key part of our grading rubric. You want to make sure that it follows a clear, logical layout. You have to have your introduction, your paragraphs, your supporting information and details and analysis. And then lastly, you want to make sure that it finishes out with a conclusion, and your citations are included in MLA or Chicago style. Now, where you start to lose points is, if you are not, you start kind of jumping around with your responses, if it's not clear, if it's kind of rambling, that's where you start to see those points start to get taken away. And then, of course, if you're not giving me an essay or an answer or an assignment that has been completed in a essay format, there, in other words, if it doesn't have an introduction and a conclusion, you're going to be in trouble, because that's part of organization and you're not following the instructions. So make sure it has an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, and that it follows a clear, logical layout. For writing skills, this one is worth 20% because, well, not 20%, but 20 points. You should not be writing this the day of the assignment being due. Part of this assignment is that you have to provide pre-writing questions and kind of like an outline, right, before you actually submit the response. So you should be using, use your spell check. Use what's the other one with the oh my gosh, there's this program that tells you if you got run-ons or spelling mistakes or things like that, your words are too repetitive. I forget right now what it's called. Oh my goodness. But anyways, there are tons of tools out there that you can use to make sure that your paper is written well, is free of any kind of grammatical errors. And again, I'm telling you this because we have tons of resources available. You have tutors, you have the Writing Center, and if you can't make it onto campus, you can even do that here in the Smart Thinking Online Tutoring, where you submit your paper and tutors from across the country will look at it and give you feedback, suggestions, all free of cost, right? It's all included with your tuition. So nobody should be submitting a paper that obviously looks like it was just written 10 minutes before it was submitted. So because of that, I'm going to be looking for making sure that you're writing and grammar is on point. Citations, again, you got to have them. You are reading from the Declaration of Independence, so you have to at least cite the Declaration of Independence. Again, make sure that it is done so in MLA or Chicago style, which is what we use in history. But I'll accept MLA if that's the one that you're comfortable with. If you are going to be using any sources outside of, your book or the document that I'm providing for you here, which is the Declaration of Independence, make sure that you cite it, okay? And stay away from any situations where you might get flagged for plagiarism or, anything like that, right? You always want to make sure that, yes, use outside sources. It makes your paper a lot stronger, but do so in the right way, meaning give the author credit, okay? Let me know where you got those sources from. And then lastly, the pre-writing questions are worth 10 points. And let's go over that because this is a separate assignment that is a part of the signature assignment, but you're going to turn it in separately. So the pre-writing questions, this is the first thing that you have to submit. I have a due date of Wednesday, February 9th. It remain open, okay, but I want you to do this. It is due on Wednesday. I want you to do it by Wednesday because that way it gives you time to work on the paper the rest of the week. Excuse me. So this assignment, like I said, is worth 10 points of your total assignment score. If it is not completed, then those 10 points are going to be taken out of the rubric like you saw me, show you. So all you have to do for this one is, and I'm going to show you as like a student view. Okay, you're going to start the assignment. All you got to do is, if you want to just copy paste the questions, right? So copy text entry and start writing away. Answer the questions. Now, obviously, in order to answer these questions, you should be, you need to read the actual Declaration of Independence. That is a given, that is a must, okay? And the Declaration itself is not even that long to begin with. So I do want to ensure, it's fine. I do want to ensure that you're doing it. So getting back to the assignment that you have to submit by Wednesday, all you have to do is just give me your outline. What are the basic, the fundamentals that you're going to be working on before you actually submit this assignment to me. And again, this is just to get some of that pre-writing work done so that you don't wait until the last minute to avoid, you missing answers on this assignment or, not completing those answers. I want you to have thought of what you're going to write about before you sit down and write about it. So the first question is, analyze the Declaration of Independence, examine the connection between the Enlightenment ideals of freedom and equality with those stated in the document. All you have to do here is just tell me a little bit about the Enlightenment ideals that sort of inspired the justification for breaking away with England. And you can use your book, absolutely, use what's in there. You're free to, use any other academic sources that talk about this, whether they be primary or secondary sources. Go ahead and use them, cite them. You don't have to cite anything here except, if you've got those citations, I want you to start putting them in here. You should at least have the citation to the Declaration of Independence here because you are going to be using it. So everybody has to cite it, okay? And yeah, so this could work kind of like as an introduction to your paper. You're going to tell me a little bit about the Enlightenment, about who were these, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. You want to talk about the social contract, Thomas Jefferson's involvement with the Enlightenment, and whatever you want to say. I want you to make that connection between the Enlightenment and the actual writing of this document, the Declaration of Independence. Okay. Number two, do you believe these ideals were operative when this document was written? Why or why not? So at the time, 1776, Declaration of Independence is written. Were these ideals reflective of the society that they lived in? Why or why not? There's so much you could talk about. in, within the Declaration of Independence that you could run with it and say, yes, it was, or no, it wasn't. I cannot imagine that I would have, 100% everybody saying yes or everybody saying no. There's no right or wrong answer. Again, this is just to get you to think about the connection between this document that was written in 1776 and the people that wrote it, the people that lived at the time. But then also number three, question number three is, are these ideals, are they true today, right? So you could talk about, you could be talking about, hold on, let me see if I can open this. You could be talking about, is it true today that all men are created equal? Just like you could talk about in question number two, do you believe that the Declaration of Independence and its ideals that all men are created equal, that, these citizens were, have these inalienable rights. Again, you could go on and on about all of these things, all of those grievances, right? Why they're upset when they talk about tyranny. They are writing this down for the world to hear, for the world to know about it. And it's up to you to decide whether those documents are, whether those documents were operative then and whether they continue to be operative today. So lots to talk about here. You do not have to talk about everything. Grab something, run with it, okay? Does the government bear the responsibility of carrying out the ideals that the founders envisioned? And if so, how? So obviously, after the revolution is over, they get their independence, they are still thinking about those revolutionary ideals when they go in to kind of hammer out the details of how they are going to govern. Are they to be a nation, or will they continue to be, 13 different countries, right? Just like they were 13 different colonies. And so they took those ideals to heart. They believed that that was going to be the basis for how they were going to govern moving forward. And guess what? Obviously, this. It didn't quite work out that way, right? Because revolution is one thing, governing is another. However, and that's why you end up with the factions, right? With the Federalists and the anti-Federalists. But today, just like it did back then, does the government bear the responsibility of carrying out the ideals that the founders envisioned, right? And again, go into the Declaration of Independence, pick something in there, whether it's about protecting them from like the injustices of an unfair trial, or imposing taxes without their consent, or depriving them of the benefits of trial by jury. So there's so much here that you could look at and sit and think about, wait a minute. So this is what they believed in. This is what they fought for. This is what they died for. Should the government continue to carry out those ideals today? And if so, why? Right? What responsibility do they have to have? Or are you going to say, no, that's why they put that little bit in there about the pursuit of happiness, whatever that is, right? Because there are no guarantees, but you are guaranteed this pursuit, right? This chance. Lots to think about there. Number 5, what can you do today as an individual citizen to fulfill these ideals? What are you doing today? Or what can we do as an individual, right? What responsibility do we have to our community? Tell me your position and provide specific examples. And then, of course, the last thing that you have to do on this pre-writing assignment is include your citation, just so that you have it already. If you still are having trouble with citations, feel free to look through the first module that has all of these samples. But by all means, if you feel like you're still having trouble with that, and even YouTube videos aren't helping, I suggest going to like citationgenerator.com or Citation Machine, EasyBib, and you'll find easy little hacks there where you just input the information and the app will just give you the citation, which then you can just paste onto your document. Okay. Again, we just want to make sure that we are crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's before you actually sit down and start writing this assignment. And that's it. Now, in addition to the pre-writing, which is 10 points, right, of the 100 of the signature assignment, I do have an extra credit opportunity here, which I hope everybody will take advantage of. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is submit a written copy of your signature assignment to the Writing Center, either in person, right, at LC, or you can do it via it's down here, the Smart Thinking online tutoring service. And all you got to do is either upload a picture with proof that you went to the Writing Center, or upload, whatever document or feedback they give you if you go through the online option. Okay, the guidance. I'm sorry, the Smart Thinking online tutoring. Now, all you do to sign into that is you sign in like if you were logging onto Canvas, and it's accessed. You get access that way. Now, not doing this extra credit assignment will not negatively impact your grade. I'm not going to take away points. I'm not going to do anything bad. If you notice, it's 0. It's set at 0. So if you don't do anything, it's 0 out of 0. But if you do submit it, you get 5 extra points on the assignment, which Canvas will then recognize as bonus. Okay. So that's how that works. This assignment is due on Sunday, but because it is 5% of your course grade, I will give you guys a little bit of leeway there, a couple more days to get it done. If you can't do it by Sunday, don't even worry about it. Don't stress about it. Just get it done and submit it. If it is still open, you can still submit it. I will not deduct points, but I need everybody to do this because it is a part of the whole, Gen Ed committee stuff. So, okay. So I hope that was, going to clear up some of the questions that you might have been having about this assignment. It's 5% of your grade. Don't miss it, especially in this class. It's a flex class, which is why I'm giving you flexibility, right, on the due dates, but don't fall behind. And if you're still missing stuff from Unit 4, the American Revolution unit, submit it as soon as possible. I am actually about done writing your test for Unit 4 on the American Revolution. Remember the questions that you guys were getting for Unit 1? Yeah, those are the questions that I need to hammer out here. So yeah, I want to make sure that you're not going to get some random questions and that you're going to be working on chapter 4, 5, and 6. And I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me via Canvas or to my, to my email, my office phone number. I've got office hours in person via Zoom. Or what else was I going to say? Yeah, just feel free to stop by if you have any questions. And I'd be happy to help. Okay. So with that, I will let you guys go. Please enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget to, do any pending assignments that you still haven't done. Unit 5 is already open. We're not going to start in it until next week. But, for those early birds that are ready to go, it's already there. Okay. So I'll see you guys later.